Hello, everyone, and welcome to Firstpost America. I'm Eric Ham, and we're live in the nation's capital of Washington, D.C. And today, Donald Trump makes a bold proposal, but is it an offer other nations cannot refuse? We've got the latest on that and other stories from the United States and around the world. But first, here's a look at the day's headlines. A U.S. military C-17 plane carrying around 100 illegal migrants lands in northern India. The immigrants were deported after New Delhi agreed to work with the Trump administration to take back Indian nationals living in the United States. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says he is open to direct talks with Vladimir Putin. This after Putin refused to engage in negotiations with President Zelensky after calling him illegitimate. Greenland announces general elections for the 11th of March. Political parties say the upcoming campaign will revolve around Greenland's independence from Denmark amid President Trump's threats to buy the island. Australia bans Chinese AI DeepSeek from all government devices. Canberra says the Chinese chatbot is a risk to national security. And French troops pull out of the Western African nation of Senegal. An anti-France movement linked to its colonial past forced French troops out of several other countries in the region as well. We begin here in Washington, where President Donald Trump hosted Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House yesterday. This was the president's first meeting with a foreign leader since his return to the Oval Office. And during their discussions, the two leaders spoke about the ongoing ceasefire in Gaza. President Trump proposed the idea of the United States taking over the Gaza Strip, which could also include the deployment of U.S. troops in the war-torn region.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
The president added that the United States would oversee the redevelopment of Gaza, but Palestinians would have to be relocated to either Jordan or Egypt.
I don't want to be cute. I don't want to be a wise guy, but the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent. The only reason the Palestinians want to go back to Gaza is they have no alternative. It's right now a demolition site. This is just a demolition site. Virtually every building is down. They're living under fallen concrete that's very dangerous and very precarious.
Now, the meeting between President Trump and Netanyahu comes as the Israeli-Hamas ceasefire enters its second phase. However, Hamas, which carried out the October 7th attack, has rejected President Trump's offer of the United States occupying Gaza. President Trump has already threatened the militant group with severe destruction if they do not return American hostages before the ceasefire lapses.
We're working very hard to get all the hostages. The word is all, and we're working very hard. So far, it's been moving along fairly rapidly, pretty much on schedule. I'd love to have them all out at one time, but we're taking them out, and tomorrow more are being released, and over the days more, and then we'll go into a phase two. But we'd like to get all of the hostages, and if we don't, it will just make us somewhat more violent.
Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia and Australia have responded to President Trump's comments and have reaffirmed support for Palestine, including a two-state solution.
What I would say is that Australia's position is the same as it was this morning, as it was last year, and it was 10 years ago, and it was under the Howard government. The Australian government support, on a bipartisan basis, a two-state solution in the Middle East. When it comes to our position, we have not received any request regarding the rebuilding of Gaza. What we have said, though, clearly, We've supported a ceasefire. We've supported hostages being released, and we've supported aid getting into Gaza. There is a need to do that, and Australia is willing to assist getting aid into Gaza to provide that support.
President Trump's latest comments have even received backlash at home, with several Democrats calling the proposal problematic and deranged. Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will stay in Washington through the end of the week as he meets with lawmakers on Capitol Hill. And staying with the White House, apart from talks on Gaza, President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu also held extensive talks on the rising tensions between Israel and Iran. Addressing recent reports that Iran is fast-tracking work on developing a nuclear bomb, President Trump said Tehran getting nuclear weapons would spell certain disaster. The commander-in-chief added that he will not allow Iran to achieve such an objective and will work with Israel to halt Tehran's nuclear ambitions.
You say Iran is so weak. I appreciate you saying that. They're not weak. They're very strong right now, and we're not going to allow them to have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. You know, I signed a very strong proclamation. Iran was in big trouble when I left. They were broke. They didn't have money for Hamas. They didn't have any money for Hezbollah. You had no problem. October 7th could have never happened. When I left, October 7th could have never happened.
Echoing the president's sentiments, Prime Minister Netanyahu pledged that Israel would do everything in its power to prevent Iran from developing a nuclear weapon.
I'm honored that you invited me to be the first foreign leader to visit the White House in your second term. This is a testament to your friendship and support for the Jewish state and the Jewish people. I've said this before, I'll say it again. You are the greatest friend Israel has ever had in the White House. And that's why the people of Israel have such enormous respect for you. We also see eye to eye on Iran. That's the same Iran that tried to kill us both. They tried to kill you, Mr. President. They tried through their proxies to kill me. We're both committed to rolling back Iran's aggression in the region and ensuring that Iran never develops a nuclear weapon.
Meanwhile, President Trump clarified that he'd rather strike a deal with Iran than start another war. However, the commander-in-chief added that he gave his cabinet instructions to obliterate Iran if the Islamic regime tries to assassinate him.
I say this, and I say this to Iran, who's listening very intently. I would love to be able to make a great deal, a deal where you can get on with your lives and you'll do wonderfully. You'll do wonderfully. Incredible people, industrious, beautiful, just an unbelievable group of people in Iran. And I know them well, have many friends from Iran and many friends that are Americans from Iran, and they're very proud of Iran. But I hated to do it, just so you understand. And I hope we're going to be able to do something so that it doesn't end up in a very catastrophic situation. I don't want to see that happen.
Now, President Trump's maximum economic pressure policy means tougher sanctions on Tehran and enforcement mechanisms on anyone that violates the existing sanctions. The move brings back the strict policy that the U.S. had against Iran during the first Trump presidency. And now Iran has denied developing a nuclear weapon. However, U.S. intelligence officials have confirmed that Tehran has enriched some of its uranium to levels that are enough to build at least 10 nuclear bombs. And concerns continue to grow in Iran that President Trump could empower Israel to carry out airstrikes on its nuclear facilities, which could lead to an all-out war in the region. And President Donald Trump's return to the White House has reignited America's fiercest political battle on immigration. With mass deportations now underway and sanctuary cities under attack, Democratic leaders are pushing back and hard. In New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy made a shocking admission about sheltering an asylum seeker, triggering legal threats from the White House border czar. Meanwhile, in California, Attorney General Rob Bonta is vowing to protect immigrants and LGBTQ+ students from ICE arrests and deportations. How far will this fight go? Our next report brings you all the details.
The second Trump presidency has begun with the familiar battle cry. immigration crackdown at all costs. And since the president's orders, in just 2 weeks, ICE has deported 8,000 people. And even border crossings attempts have dropped by 60%. Trump's executive orders have removed previous restrictions, making anyone living in the country illegally a target. And even sanctuary city leaders are now at risk. The message is clear: cooperate or face consequences. Now adhering to their promise, the crackdown is swift. The fear is real, but in deep blue states, the resistance is mounting. And nowhere is the tension clearer than in New Jersey. At a recent panel discussion, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy made stunning confession. He hinted that he and his wife have considered housing an undocumented migrant in their home.
Tammy and I were talking about, I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to. And we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
After his remarks, the audience fell silent, but the backlash was instant. Critics erupted demanding his arrest. "This is sick," one person wrote. "I hope ICE goes after him," another added. Even Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, wasted no time in responding and threatened legal action.
I think the governor is pretty foolish saying what he said because I've gotten a hold of it. We won't let it go. We'll look into it. Then, if he's knowingly harboring and concealing an illegal alien, that's a violation of Title 8, United States Code 1324. I will seek prosecution, or the Secretary will seek prosecution.
And then soon after the mounting backlash, Murphy's office scrambled to clarify. They insisted the person in question was still in the US legally, but still in the process of securing their status. But the damage was done. The controversy had exploded. Now New Jersey isn't the only state bracing for battle. California Attorney General Rob Bonta has also vowed to fight back against Trump's latest wave of immigration. Bonta has doubled down on his promise of keeping illegal immigrants living in California safe and secure, including keeping illegal immigrants that are in schools away from ICE agents.
We want to make sure our schools have all the information and all the resources they need so they don't get bullied or confused into violating any student's rights. I want to encourage schools to immediately contact legal counsel if they receive any request from ICE or find ICE agents on campus. But let me be clear. The President's order has no impact on California's law generally precluding state and local officials from assisting with federal government with immigration enforcement. The federal government cannot commandeer us, conscript us. State and local law enforcement or state public institutions to carry out their inhumane policies. They may do their job lawfully, but they cannot force the state or local law enforcement agencies to do their job for them.
Democrats in California are reacting to Trump rescinding a policy that prevented ICE from arresting undocumented migrants at schools, churches, and hospitals, regardless of their age and gender. The result? Immigrant families are pulling their children out of classes, terrified that ICE agents could show up at any moment.
On the other side, I have Immigrants Built America, because who's the one who does your crops? It's immigrants. They're the ones in the fields. Who picks up your trash? It's immigrants. They're the ones that are cleaning out the offices, the bathrooms, everywhere you work. They're the ones that clean up. They're not the ones that are sitting in an office desk doing paperwork. They're the ones behind everything.
But Bonta is holding his ground. He's having none of it. He declared that California schools are and will remain a welcoming, inclusive and safe place for all. He wants school leaders to be resolute and resist ICE if agents show up on campuses.
No matter how you look, where you're from, what language you speak, how you pray, who you love, or how you identify. That includes ensuring that our schools are welcoming, inclusive, and safe for all students and educators. All Californians will always have an ally in me.
The teachers' unions are mobilizing. School officials are scrambling to protect students, and democratic governors are bracing for legal battles. Without a doubt, Trump's first 15 days back in office have sent shockwaves through the country. Murphy, Bonta and other blue state leaders are standing firm, and their battle lines are drawn. The real question is, how far will Trump and his border czar go, and who will be left standing?
And next we head to Silicon Valley, where Google is undergoing a significant policy shift. The search engine's parent company Alphabet recently updated its ethical guidelines on the use of artificial intelligence, or AI. The move has sparked intense debate as the company has quietly removed its previous commitment of not developing AI technologies for weapons or surveillance purposes. In a blog post, CEO of Google DeepMind and Google's Senior Vice President for Technology and Society defended the decision. In fact, they argued that in a rapidly evolving technological landscape, democratic governments need to join forces to create an AI that supports national security while upholding principles of freedom and human rights. Previously, Google's AI principles, which were first published in 2018, pledged against using the technology in 4 areas, which includes weapon surveillance, applications that could cause overall harm, and the violation of international law and human rights. Now, with the new update to the AI guidelines, these restrictions have quietly been eliminated.
As we see AGI, in particular, coming into sharper focus, the societal implications become incredibly profound. This isn't just about developing powerful AI. It's about building the most transformative technology in human history, using it to solve humanity's biggest challenges, and ensuring that the right safeguards and governance are in place for the benefit of the world. We'll share our progress and findings about this journey, and expect to continue to evolve our thinking as we move closer to AGI.
The change comes amid growing geopolitical tensions and fierce competition over AI dominance between global superpowers, particularly the United States and China. And Google is doing everything to stay committed to the current administration's ambitions of dominating the internet space. In fact, just last week, after President Donald Trump said he wanted to rename the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, Google quietly agreed without any protest and said that it has provisions to do so.
To change the name of an international sea, it is not a country that changes it. It is a global organization. So we are sending this letter to Google. We are going to send it today. Tomorrow, we will explain how this is determined because it cannot be by the mandate of a country.
Now, as a result of this massive change by the tech giant, it is now facing intense criticism.
I would say that it's better to not pretend that you have any of these principles than write them out and do the opposite.
And moreover, concerns over the company's cloud computing contract with the Israeli government remain a point of contention, particularly after reports revealed that Google allowed the Israeli military to use its AI in the war in Gaza. And now, with plans to invest $75 billion in AI projects this year, Google appears determined to cement its role as a key player in the AI race. And of course, we can't end without talking about you-know-who, Elon Musk. Known for his unfiltered takes, the billionaire is once again pushing the limits on work-life balance, this time by boasting that employees at his White House-backed Department of Government Efficiency are clocking in a whopping 120-hour work weeks. Now, according to Musk, bureaucrats are losers for working 40 hours a week and never in the office on the weekends. This latest workaholic manifesto follows similar controversial remarks by Indian business leaders advocating for a 70 to 90-hour work week. But Musk, never one to be outdone, has set the bar for pure exhaustion. Our next report dives into the controversy.
Elon Musk has never been one to filter his thoughts. Whether he's naming his child something that sounds like a Wi-Fi password, live tweeting business decisions that cost him billions, or challenging Mark Zuckerberg to a cage fight, the man loves saying things that make the internet collectively raise an eyebrow. His latest gem, declaring that working weekends is a superpower. Employees of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, are already doing that, which is why the government bureaucrats are losing so fast, because they dare to enjoy a 40-hour work week. His words, not ours. Musk, who leads Tesla, SpaceX, X, and now the White House's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, recently bragged that his new government task force is clocking in 120-hour work weeks. That's 17 hours a day, 7 days a week. Apparently, bathroom breaks and sleep are for the week. Musk wrote on X that very few in the bureaucracy actually work the weekend. So it's like the opposing team just leaves the field for 2 days. Working the weekend is a superpower, he stated, because nothing says government efficiency like a billionaire trashing weekends on a platform he owns. Musk has been on a hiring spree. He's looking for what he calls super high IQ small government revolutionaries. Musk wants employees who are willing to work over 80 hours a week, doing the thrilling job of cost cutting. No word on whether there's an employee discount on therapy bills. Of course, this isn't the first time Musk has treated work-life balance like an optional add-on. When he took over Twitter in 2022, he famously gave employees a choice: commit to an extremely hardcore work environment or take 3 months of severance pay. More than half of the company's 4,000 employees chose the latter, presumably because they enjoy things like sleep, personal relationships, and not collapsing from exhaustion. Musk himself has long claimed to work 120-hour work weeks, especially during Tesla's early days. He often slept in the office to lead by example. Some call it dedication, others call it a billionaire's inability to delegate. Musk's 120-hour workweek decree comes hot on the heels of a debate sparked by Indian business leaders. L&T chairman S.N. Subramaniam suggests employees should work 90 hours a week, while Infosys co-founder Narayana Murthy advocates for a 70-hour work week. Both ideas were met with immediate backlash. But leave it to Musk to take things up a notch, because why settle for a grueling work schedule when you can go full dystopian sweatshop? In Musk's utopia, weekends are for the weak, 120-hour work weeks are the norm, and burnout is just another word for pushing through. So if you're a super high IQ revolutionary who enjoys sleep deprivation, extreme job insecurity, and working every waking minute of your life, congratulations, Elon Musk is looking for you. For everyone else, maybe just enjoy your weekend while you still can.
That's First Post America for this Wednesday. I'm Eric Ham, signing off from our studios in Washington, D.C. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.